Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Last quarter, we focused on using the context of a vocabulary word to help determine its meaning. But today, we're going to be building upon that skill and applying it to how we can better understand a difficult text, such as an article. And we're going to use something called purposeful rereading. Today, we will practice reading this article more than once in order to better understand it. To be successful in completely understanding what we read, you have to read it more than once and focus on one idea at a time. Watch and listen as I read this article about ASMR. The first time I read it, I will be using my blue highlighter to indicate anything that I'm questioning about the article so that I can clear up anything I don't understand. I'm also going to be using my pen to be annotating, which means putting notes next to what I'm reading, and writing down my questions or writing down what I believe some of these words and phrases mean based on the context of what we're reading. So let's begin. We're going to start with the title, How ASMR Became a YouTube Sensation. Well, I know about the rest of these words, but ASMR, that's a new term. I'm going to try to figure out what that means, okay? So I'm going to highlight that blue because I'm not quite sure. No, it's from the Financial Times. It's an online article. So let's begin. I have just spent 38 minutes looking at someone unwrapping 3 bars of chocolate. Before that, I watched a woman wordlessly but very, very enthusiastically eat a salmon fillet. She had perfect teeth, but that's all I could see of her. That YouTube video has been watched 20 million times since it was uploaded 9 months ago. Well, you know, something I'm wondering about and questioning about is why in the world would someone spend 38 minutes looking at someone who's just unwrapping candy bars? Or why would a YouTube video about someone who's eating salmon have 20 million views? Got to keep reading to find out. Earlier, I spent 15 minutes observing actor Aubrey Plaza eating cornflakes, twisting her hair, and whispering. I am, as instructed by the makers of each video, wearing headphones, and I am oblivious to the world. Well, I can definitely figure out that oblivious means that I'm not paying attention to anything else because I've got my headphones on and I'm so into this video, right? So I don't need to highlight that one. Let's keep going. Before that, I think I watched Salma Hayek crunching her way through tostadas, also whispering, each bite painstakingly recorded. Let's check out this one here, painstakingly recorded, by an overhead binaural, oh my goodness, highlighting that one, not sure what that one means, mics, and then Eva Longoria eating popcorn. I've lost track of time and perhaps place as well. And bafflingly, it's blissful. I know that blissful means happy. Bafflingly, looks like I could put another word in there like surprisingly. Like I'm surprised that I'm having such a good time watching these videos. Let's go back to painstakingly. You know, pain has to do with something that, you know, we don't like, right? Painstakingly recorded. Each bite is painstakingly recorded by the binaural mics. So maybe it's like every detail, every little thing. So detailed recording. And then here's another word that I think we need to break down a little bit. Binaural. Well, I know that bi means 2, right? And it's talking about the microphones, the mics. So maybe what it's saying is that there are 2 microphones that they are recording this with. I bet that really improves the sound of what's happening. Let's go into the next paragraph. It would be impossible to count the number of times I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole while writing this. Hold on, YouTube rabbit hole. YouTube doesn't have literal rabbit holes. That's got to be referencing something. Oh, I know. I remember reading and watching a little story called Alice in Wonderland, right? And in Alice in Wonderland, the way that she goes on her journey is that she falls down a rabbit hole, and then everything begins for her. But it begins with her curiosity of what's happening over there, and then she falls in. So this is talking about how you can fall into a metaphorical YouTube rabbit hole, right? Just keep watching videos over and over again, and getting to new ones and have them lead you to a new place. Let's keep going. I am sensitive to something called autonomous, let's highlight that, autonomous sensory meridian response, or ASMR. Okay, so here we're getting our definition of ASMR. Whenever you've got those capital letters all together, it's a little something called something called an acronym. So that means that the A stands for something, the S stands for something, the M stands for something, the R stands for something. Autonomous, we know that auto means on its own. So perhaps this means on its own. Sensory, having to do with our senses. Meridian, relating to the brain and what we feel. And then response, which is what happens after something is triggered. Okay, so let's keep going. Which means I get a tingling sensation in my scalp, neck, throat, and spine when exposed to certain visual and auditory cues. And YouTube is home to more than 13 million trigger-laden videos. Trigger-laden videos. I think that probably means it's full of the triggers, right? Trigger full of videos, which can make it really hard to get any work done. ASMR triggers range from crunchy sounds such as biscuits being eaten or bubble wrap being popped to soft, squishy sounds like whispering or fabrics being folded. Actually, those all sounds like nice sounds. Visual cues are usually to do with seeing a task, often a personal one, being performed or explained carefully, such as getting a haircut or being cooked a meal. Wearing headphones means that you hear the videos binaurally. Oh my goodness, there's that word again. Binaurally, which intensifies the sensation and by making the experience feel three-dimensional. So it's important to remember three-dimensional. We know the difference between a two-dimensional picture, for example, and a three-dimensional picture, right? If you want a two-dimensional square, oh my goodness, this is hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time, but I'm doing my best. So that's like a two-dimensional square, right? But if I'm going to turn it into three-dimensional, I can do something like that. Ew. Now it's got more depth, right? It feels like it's more real, like it's right there with me. And so I think what they're trying to say by saying the experience is more three-dimensional is you feel like you're right there in the room while it's happening, which is pretty awesome. As a food writer, it turns out I'm a sucker for food-related ASMR content. ASMR was first described in 2010, but the first intentionally triggering, so on purpose, triggering YouTube video was made in the UK and posted in 2009. It is such a new discovery and so relatively unresearched that no one knows what proportion of the population experiences it or why they do. But there are a lot of us. ASMR is currently the 5th most searched item on YouTube in the US and the 8th in the world, according to an analysis by web research company Ahrefs published in February. Let's go on to the next page here. The hashtag ASMR appears on Instagram 6.2 million times. Some ASM artists, such as Sass ASMR, who made the salmon video, have upwards of 5 million subscribers on YouTube. Some earn a full-time income from their channels. most of the celebrities have been invited to make videos like those above by magazines or such as Vice or W. The top 5 ASMR channels have nearly 2 billion views. And although food and drink themes form only a part of the ASMR universe, they are very popular. One video of a woman eating chicken nuggets has been viewed more than 40 million times. There are Spotify playlists made up of people talking about, tapping, rustling, and then eating chocolate or popping candy. ASMR is a new discovery for me too. A couple of months ago, I found myself bizarrely drawn to makeup adverts on Instagram, which I found incredibly restful. I could lose half an hour watching someone apply eyeshadow. The tingly scalp sensation was instantly familiar. As a child, I got it when my mother brushed my hair, as well as when my feet were measured for shoes, but I had never talked about it. When I Googled it, I found the food videos. Down the rabbit hole I fell. So there's that rabbit hole reference again. Most people who experience ASMR have been aware of it since childhood. As well as the scalp tingles, ASMR is followed by a deep, joyful, almost meditative sense of relaxation. And many ASMR followers use trigger videos to fall asleep or to alleviate anxiety or depression. Trigger. Okay. I know that trigger, well, it's, it's something on a gun, right? And if you pull the trigger, then the bullet comes out. So we know that we're not talking about a gun. We're talking about what might cause someone to experience ASMR, right? So maybe a trigger is one of these videos that helps people get those responses, right? And it says that they're going to fall asleep or alleviate anxiety. Well, I know that people wouldn't try to necessarily watch something that would make them have more anxiety or depression, right? So alleviate probably means to reduce it, right? To reduce the anxiety and depression people are experiencing. Let's keep going. From a psychological point of view, ASMR has got the potential to tell us how the brain is wired for the different senses integrating together. Well, I know that if we're talking about things being together, maybe that they integrating means that they're all working together. Because you're experiencing tactile tingling sensations. Let's highlight tactile. Tactile tingling sensations without any physical input. Okay, we can use this sentence to help us. Tactile tingling sensations without any physical input. So usually when you feel something physical, it's because something has touched you in some way, right? So they're talking about being able to watch a video and feel some kind of sensation without anything actually touching you. So tactile probably means having to do with touch, right? Something having to do with touch. Says Tom Hostler, a psychology lecturer at Manchester Metropolitan University. He has been studying ASMR since 2015, when a fellow PhD student, Julia Porio, suggested he help with a side project that turned into one of the first academic papers on the topic. So this is someone who really knows what they're talking about. Their study demonstrated that ASMR is associated with reduced heart rate and heightened skin conductivity. Oh, I'm not sure what conductivity means, but there's a parenthesis right after that, and it seems like it's going to explain it for us. A measure of physiological and emotional response. So we know conductivity means that physiological, that's like that word physical, which has to do with like physiology like the body and physical like the body. So having to do with the body. and emotional response. Okay. They're among the first to suggest ASMR experiences could have therapeutic benefits. A small number of studies have since suggested that ASMR experiences can decrease stress, increase relaxation and focus, and improve mood. So, wow, it sounds like there's some cool benefits of ASMR. And because we've gone through and we've made notes and highlighted what we didn't understand, now we kind of get what happened in this first read. Okay? We're going to look at our questions about this. Our first question says, the author reveals the way that ASMR invites people to lose track of time and fall down the rabbit hole. What does the author do to draw the reader in to this article and convince them to keep reading? Well, I know that when I first started reading this paragraph here, this paragraph here, and this paragraph here, they're all examples of how much time the author is actually spending watching these ASMR videos and enjoying it, right? These are personal examples. Okay. So those personal examples of so detailed, exactly telling me what she was watching, really helped me get drawn into this article. It made me want to keep reading. He doesn't even really mention the term ASMR until farther down. Did I say he again? Oh, sorry. She doesn't mention it till farther down. So this really drew me in here. So it would be sentences from these paragraphs that I would use to support my answer, talking about why I would fall down the rabbit hole of still reading this article all the way to the end. Now, to answer number 2, I think we're going to need to read one more time. It says, what are some of the positive effects caused by various ASMR triggers? And what are the drawbacks? It's positive and negative. So we need to find the relationship between people seeing these ASMR videos as well as any kind of negative. So we're going to read one more time, and we are going to use our green highlighter anytime we find a positive or a negative about ASMR. I'm going to go through. So let's see. I've just spent 38 minutes looking at someone unwrapping 3 bars of chocolate. Oof. I mean, I'm going to highlight that because that's kind of a long time to be watching someone. Okay, so that might be a negative if they're trying to get work done, right? And then here's another one. Spent 15 minutes watching a different one. And oblivious to the world, maybe, getting sucked in, that could be considered a positive or a negative thing, right? Oh, here's another one. I've lost track of time and perhaps place as well. Okay. So I feel like in this sentence, there's some positive and negative. Lost track of time could be a negative, because if you're trying to get a lot of work done and you get sucked down the rabbit hole from YouTube, you won't get very much done. But it could be a positive because she's saying that it's blissful. So maybe if she didn't have a lot of work to do and she needs to be able to fall asleep or something, and she wants to lose track of time because she needs to relax, then it's a good thing. Okay, let's keep reading. I'm actually skimming a little bit because I have read this before, but I'm looking specifically for positives or negatives. Uh-oh, here's one. There's so many trigger-laden videos, which makes it really hard to get any work done. There it is. That's a negative, right? Hard to get any work done. Now it's going over what it is focusing on. Visual cues of seeing the task. Okay. It's a new discovery. It's very, very popular. We're going to go to the next page here. We're going to skim a little bit. We're going to try to find some more positives and negatives. Well, you know what? It's saying that there are a lot of people who get many subscribers on YouTube because of these videos, and that they can earn a full-time income from their videos. So I think that's positive because there are people that are actually able to get a full-time job from making these videos, and I want people to have more jobs. So I think that's a good thing. Let's keep going. They're very popular. It's a new discovery. Here's another, even the way this is written, she says that she could lose half an hour watching someone apply eyeshadow. So once again, the language that she's using, that she could lose it, seems more negative. Down the rabbit hole I fell. There's that reference again. So ASMR is usually followed by a deep, joyful, almost meditative state of relaxation. So I would say that's a good thing. That's a good effect right there. That one of the cause for many people, the cause is ASMR. But the effect for some people is the joyful response and the meditation that you can get from all of that. So we've got a little relationship there between what ASMR can cause. Here's some more. Oh, it can help alleviate anxiety and depression. That's another positive that we noticed. Or to help people fall asleep, right? That's cool. From a psychological point of view, it has the potential to tell us how the brain is wired for the different senses. I'm going to keep skimming and looking for any positives or negatives. Okay, it says it's associated with reduced heart rate. So we know that if your heart rate is elevated, that means that you're probably very stressed out. You have more anxiety. So reduced heart rate is good. Heightened skin conductivity, having to do with your body and emotional response. And the studies suggest that they could have therapeutic benefits. So someone who needs to if someone wants to have a therapeutic experience, it will help them with that. It can also help decrease stress, increase relaxation and focus, and improve mood. So we've got a lot of positives and negatives to work with. So let's go back to our question. What are some of the positive effects caused by various ASMR triggers? I think a lot of the positives are they can help reduce the anxiety and depression, increase relaxation and focus. It's good for therapy. There's some good physical and emotional effects of ASMR. But what are some drawbacks? What are the negatives? Well, we have some people who are saying that we have the author saying, I could lose a half an hour watching it and not really know what happened to the time, be oblivious to the world, spend all this time on it, and also it's hard to get any work done. So it sounds like some of the drawbacks are if you've got something to do and you're watching that instead of doing what you're supposed to do, it's a pretty big distraction. All right. Finally, let's look at our third one. Evaluate the purpose of the article. Do you think that this article is written to persuade, to entertain, or to inform, and why? Well, now that I've read this article and I've gotten all these examples of what ASMR is, and it's talking about when it was first described and how people are making it, and just a lot of research having to do with it. I would say it's not, even though I would consider this article to be very interesting, so perhaps it might have been like entertaining for me to read it. I think the purpose of this article by Rebecca is that she wants to inform us about what ASMR is, because from the very beginning we were wondering, what is ASMR? What does that acronym stand for? So I think this was to inform us about what it is and how it's really taking YouTube by storm and becoming so popular. Okay, so I hope that now that we've gone through, used different highlighters, and we've made annotations and decided to purposefully reread the article and skim through the article one more time to find exactly what we're looking for, we have a better understanding of what this article is communicating, and we have a better way of comprehending it as a whole. So thank you.